Hi, writers. So we're going to continue. We did the first two beats. That was, those were the opening image, or what we call the disturbance for written stories, and then the theme stated. And again, this is more a guideline. Everything here is not, actually, nothing is written in stone. It's going to be, we're adapting it for written work. So, don't panic if it's not exactly, um, exactly exact. So just, use it as an approximation. You want to get a feel for how your story is going to flow, and that's what this process will do. So, and again, feel free to have your computer out and, well, have your typing out. Obviously, have your computer up, but be taking notes or typing or whatever. Um, Right, let's write together. So, um, okay, so moving on to setup, which is the third beat. And this is an introduction to the main characters and setting. And this, when you see these, the pages 1 through 10, these are actually the pages of a screenplay. So, setup would be, if it's 1 through 10, then this is happening 1 minute 1 through minute 10 of a film. So again, background. So this would be, like the first chapter, so first couple of chapters where we're introducing the main characters and expanding on the before snapshot before the big thing happens. So if we're looking at the before snapshot, presenting the character's world as it is and what's missing. So what is for Kate right now is that let's say um, I'm not going to say she ignores her kids, but she doesn't pay real attention to her kids. Let's say she doesn't value her husband enough. Let's say she shines at work and she's a type A personality. So the question is, what scenes what images exemplify this? So if she doesn't pay attention to her kids, maybe let's see, her daughter um, is showing her a book report, and she doesn't pay attention, and we see that this hurts the daughter's feelings. And one thing I like is just kind of seeing these scenes like a movie in my head, because if I can see it, then I can write it. So even if it doesn't end up exactly like this, just having this as a guide to work through helps me. So this hurts the daughter's feelings. She doesn't value her husband enough. Maybe she shoots down an idea her husband has. Maybe at a party, she she um, she laughs at something he says in a dismissive way, and maybe she doesn't even notice that she's doing this. But just the devil's in the details. So just little things here. Shines at work. She in that presentation where she's late, she makes being late part of the presentation, and she makes it work, um, and makes it work brilliantly even. um, and I don't know exactly how that's going to happen right now, but I don't need to know that. It's okay. Just get something, just have a kind of skeletal feel at this point. All right, type A personality. Let's say she's getting coffee. Maybe that could be one of her things, that she's a coffee addict, getting coffee, and she is that person who has all the the edits for the coffee. And obviously, me using the word edits for coffee demonstrates I'm not a coffee drinker at all. But let's see, she wants soy whipped cream, the whipped cream with just the right amount of blah, 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 blah. You know, something like that. So just something to show that she's very, very type A and kind of, um, control about everything, but still in a kind of funny way. Maybe she sweeps her hair out of her face a lot to show that there's a lot of nervousness, but behind all this, so that she's still appealing to the audience. But yeah, so all right, next one. So we are at number 5 now in Catalyst. Now, this is where things change. So this is kind of like the before picture, and now we're getting into, the big thing. So the major event that changes the protagonist's world and sets the story in motion. So now that we've kind of done a setup of sorts, then this is where we set the story in motion. So the before world is no more, change is underway. So if, and a really, I guess, cool but cruel thing to do to your protagonist is to hit him or her where he or she feels the most confident and comfortable. So let's hit Kate in the gut, which would be her work. So Kate gets fired. Yeah. And to give her a double whammy, let's also make it so that Kate's husband leaves her. Oh no. So and let's make it happen in the same day. Damn. All right. So let's give her a pretty bad day. And let's take this off, but you know what I mean. So yeah, let's now when things like this happen, this is gonna rock her world. This is going to rock her world. And the before of what she had is no more. So these are always really fun scenes to write where it's like high drama, high action happening. Next beat is the debate, and this is actually the last act of the first act. This is the last beat of the first act. Snyder divides the beats into the 15 beats into Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. And Act 1 is where kind of getting everything set up. And this is the last part of that, part of the before world, the debate. And this lays out the stakes for the journey ahead. And really, it's these questions. Can I face it? Do I have what it takes? It's the last chance for the hero to chicken out. But more than anything to me, this is where, once we have a major change, like Kate getting fired and Kate's husband leaves her, this is where Kate may try to rally and get her world back the way it used to be, because that's what we all do when we have changes that we don't like. We will try to. So Kate tries to get her job back. I don't know how. Let's say maybe she begs, threatens to sue, whatever, right? It doesn't matter, but she tries to get her job back. And Kate's husband, what would she do? Kate tries to get him to stay somehow. Again, maybe she begs, maybe she threatens, who knows? Or maybe she's just stunned because maybe she can't control that or whatever. But yeah, so that's generally where the character tries to get world to stay normal or stay like it was, right? But the problem with this, at least for writers, is that um, it can't stay like it was. Otherwise, you have no story. There's no point if the world stays like it was. But the reader or whoever's consuming your story has to feel like the the character can't get out of the situation. So we have to kind of make it ironclad that Kate can't get her job back. Kate can't get her husband to stay, at least not right now, because, otherwise Kate has to be forced out of the nest. And when your character doesn't have a choice, then that's when the story gets started. I mean, it's just like real life. If we could keep things the same, we would a lot of the time, especially if it's a change we don't choose. So, and once you realize once you realize that you can't get your world to change, then there comes the point of acceptance. And this to me is the really important idea in the debate, is what happens by the end of it. It's, can I face the challenge? And you may feel like, no, but I have to anyway. Do I have what it takes? I don't know, but I have to move forward. Should I go at all? I don't want to, but I'm going to. And in terms of being able to chicken out, the character doesn't have a choice. So she has to move forward. If she doesn't have her job, what else is she going to do? So you have to kind of make it so they can't wiggle out of it, and where they decide to move forward because, well, they're out of options otherwise. So that's acceptance. And what does acceptance look like on Kate in this case? And what I see, and just pick something that you see in your head. You may see something totally different, but what I see is that I see Kate, take that off, caps. Kate is, let's see, Kate sits in her huge walk-in closet, and I see it just being cream tones in there, very soothing, and husband's side is empty, and I see her in a rumpled suit, which is unusual for her, of course, and no shoes, maybe even a run in her stockings, whatever. Although, I don't know who's wearing stockings, right? But whatever, who cares? Run in her stockings, and just looks stunned. And, yeah. And I want to see some emotion, but not too much emotion just yet, because if you get too emotional too early, then it's not a big buildup later. So I, in this case, don't want a whole lot of emotion on her just yet. So, and then at some other point, I want to see, resolution, or, just sad, but, it's morning and she has to get up. And so, feed the kids, doesn't know how, doesn't know, let me not say how, doesn't know where the cereal is kept, something like that. So these are things that I see for her as she moves into acceptance. And, acceptance is always awkward and not graceful, but it's part of just any change. And, so there we are. That is the end of Act 1. Kind of this idea of ending on resolution, where she's going to move forward, not because she wants to, but because she has to. So we will stop there for this video, and we will move on to Act 2. Thanks so much for watching, and I really hope this is helpful.